Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I've been really bad about telling you guys to like and subscribe, so I'm going to do that this video. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you would like to. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it. Today I'm going to be doing my first speed build and I'm going to be building a library. So let's get started. I'm very excited about this one. So there's going to be a lot of jump cuts because I did spend 2 hours doing this, but right now I'm just taking out the trees that are in the way of where I'm going to terraform. And I usually don't outline where I'm going to terraform, but I did for this one because it was such a big area that I was going to be using. So I decided to place something down just to sort of get an idea for how far out I wanted it to go. Just so that way there wouldn't be too much editing, but I did still end up changing up the area a lot. So it didn't really follow this outline completely. But I just thought a quick outline would make it a little bit easier for me. And I am going to cut out me doing the terraforming a little bit because it's a long process. I'll show you the outline though. But after I did that outline in the flooring, I decided to actually terraform now. And I did bring it out one because I decided I wanted it to be a little bit bigger once I actually saw the whole thing. So I kind of make choices throughout the process and I don't exactly follow the outline perfectly, but it just sort of gives me an idea of how far out I want it to go. And as I was going, I was curving out some of the edges, but I realized pretty quickly that this wasn't actually going to work very well since I'm going to be putting the bookshelves right against the edge and they're flat, so that's not going to work. I just skipped the whole part of me filling it in because, again, don't want to see that. But then I decided to do the second layer because I didn't want it to be on the same layer as the museum. I wanted it to be above. So I just sort of started terraforming with this one. I didn't really do an outline with a flooring because I already sort of had the outline with this. I didn't want it to be much smaller than the actual outline. So I just did one block in from what the original one was. So I sort of already had an outline for this. But I just sort of went around placing all of them, rounding out the edges, which again, did not work out for me. But I didn't know this yet. I thought this was going to go well. But I was just sort of playing around with it and trying to make it look nice. And it sort of ended up being a little bit smaller than I expected to, because I did want to put Goldie's house here as well. I didn't want it to just be the library, but I was seeing that I didn't really have a lot of room for that. So I sort of just decided to forget about her house for now, and then I'll deal with that later, which I did. So her house is not going here, but I tried. And then I'm just filling out everything, and then again, I'm going to fill in, but off the camera, because again, a million hours it took me. But now that we have that done, I actually realized that the bookshelves aren't going to work perfectly well. So I put them up against the edge and I noticed that it wasn't really going to look as organized as I had wanted it to because of how many curved edges I had. So I had to break a few of my rules, my rules are just that I always curve the edges of terraforming because I think it looks nice, if possible. I do it. Unfortunately, I could not do it for this because you can see there was a huge gap and I wasn't happy with it. And there was also a lot of cliff behind the bookshelves and I wanted them to be right up against the edge. So I went down and got rid of the cliffs that were behind the bookshelf. And then I realized how much that little gap annoyed me. So I also decided I was going to get rid of that. But I even brought it in 2 more spots. So it made the little thing that's sticking out. I call it a peninsula. It's really not a peninsula. I guess we could say balcony. But I made that area a little bit bigger so that way I could fit the bookshelves here and they would fit nicely. And then once I realized that they would fit, I did put down the flooring, but I wanted to test it out before I did all this work and then realized I had to make it smaller and all of my work went to waste. But I did put this flooring down and I don't know if I end up uncurving that edge. I might because that really bothers me now. But I don't remember if I did that. But I placed the bookshelves now and I thought it looked a lot nicer. I really liked the wood floor with the bookshelves. And I liked the dark wood. I wasn't sure what wood color to go with because I feel like my island is kind of a cottagecore, fairycore. It's kind of in between. So it's not exactly one particular style. And I feel like for fairycore, a lighter color would have worked better. But I think cottagecore is more the dark wood color, which I'm starting to really like a lot more. So I'm not sure. I do really like the dark bookshelves though, so I don't regret that decision. Here I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the ramp. I was going to put it right there where the bookshelf was because I didn't want to have to walk all the way around the cliff to get to the ramp, and I didn't have enough room to put a ramp. Oh, I do fix it. Good. That was really bothering me. I didn't have enough room to put the ramp here where I'm standing now. And so I was going to put it here, and then I was like, no, that's ugly. I don't want to leave like a giant big spot right there. I think it would be nice to have it closed off. So I did that. And then I put the rest of the bookshelves back after I fixed that little curved area. And I do end up putting the ramp where I am right now. But I did have to adjust the cliff a little bit so I could actually make room for it. So what I ended up doing is like pushing it in to, what am I doing now? I don't even know. I ended up making this bigger so that way there would be more room. And then I also, on the top cliff, I push it into pieces so that way it'll be in a block as well. If that makes sense. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. This looked ugly, and I did fix it. Don't worry. I was going to do it here, and then it wasn't centered. I change things a lot. I basically, me building, I just play with things until it looks right. So that's why it takes me so long to do it, because I end up placing way more things than I actually need to, because I never just place something and I'm happy with it. So it's kind of a long process. But I decided to make it a little bit wider, as wide as I could, and then move it over one, so that way the ramp would be there, and then I could put, or the incline could be there, and it would look nice. And I also extended this out a little because this was going to be the walkway, like from the museum to here, so that way I didn't have to get another ramp, because I realized I think I only have, well, after this, if I put a ramp up to the library, which I was planning on it, I only have one ramp left. And I already have a spot that I want to put one, so I don't want to use any more ramps. So I wanted the museum ramp to work for this one too. And then here I start realizing that I could put Goldie's house here, like I could extend it out a little bit further. So that way there's the walkway, and then there's Goldie's house, but you can continue to the library. So I got rid of everything that was in the way here, and then I started to do an outline. I outlined, this is where I thought Goldie's house would go. I don't think this is exactly where it ended up being, but I just wanted to make sure there was enough room for her house at least. So I placed that down, and then I also just placed down where I was going to put it. So it ended up being, so there's a pretty short, or like a thin, I guess, walkway from the water area to the actual beach, which I really like, and I think that's really cool, because it's like you're walking through there to the beach, and I think I do really like that. So I'm quite happy with how this turned out, even though that was not planned at all. But I really like it. And then I went and actually got Goldie's house and the incline, but I didn't make you watch that whole thing. So I put the incline here. I really like the natural inclines because I think that it looks nice. I don't really feel like any of them actually go with my island theme really, and they just never quite look right. So I just like to use the natural ones because I think they give the best vibe. I think it's cottagecore and fairycore in my opinion, so I really like it. And then I just am fixing up some of the things. I do change the peninsula a little bit because it was a weird shape and it wasn't really that easy to do anything with. So I decided to like make it a little bit thicker so that way I could actually put some fencing here and make it look a little bit nicer. And I do really like how the peninsula turned out. It doesn't exactly stay like that at all, but it'll change a little bit more, but I like it now and so far. And I also realized that when I was on the little balcony peninsula thing, it wasn't really a nice view. Like it kind of just the museum and the sky, and I wanted there to be more to see, so I decided to add some trees into the museum area. I didn't have the trees here before, but I did add some, and I might still add, I don't know if there'll be enough room for more, but I might still add some more trees somewhere to make it a little bit prettier so there's a better view from the balcony. And also just in general, I think I'm going to add more trees than I really was planning on. On my last island, I kept the bare minimum trees so that way I didn't have a lot to shake and I could get the items from them, but now I don't really care about that so much, so I was just like, whatever, I'll have a bunch of trees. I think it looks nice. So I'm kind of rearranging the museum area. This was not exactly supposed to be a part of the video, but it ended up becoming one because I needed it to have a nice background. I do prefer the cedar trees, but I didn't have a bunch of them because I've been using them everywhere because I do really like them. So I had to use some of the hardwood or like the regular trees, I guess. I don't know what they're called. Oak trees? I have no idea. Whatever the other trees are. I did end up having to use some of those. And then at this point, I was kind of a little bit happy where the museum was. So I decided to time travel forward a day. So that way the ramp and everything would be done. I'm getting more trees now. This is the next day, but I still need to get more trees because I wasn't quite happy. I wanted some more. So that's what I'm doing. And I planted a bunch of trees back there. So that way once they got big, I could put them wherever I wanted them. And I haven't done that little semicircle yet. And I need to because I'm annoyed that it's not done. But then I did a little pathway to the library. And I really like the pathway. I think it's quite cute. I'm in love with this. Like, I guess it's kind of a spring core, honestly. It's like, but it could be fairy core, cottage core. It fits with the theme of my island, but I don't know. It seems to be more of a spring core design. But I do have all of my custom designs linked on my card, and I will have my card in my description so you can see all of my custom designs that I have. You can see the creator code for this custom design and all of my other ones. But I really like this one. And I skipped ahead because, again, it's boring watching me just place things repetitively. So I cut it out for you. And then I wanted to do something here because I thought it looked a little bare, and there's not a ton of room to actually do anything. So I figured it would just be cute to make it like a little bit of not a garden, but just put flowers there. Like put some custom designs and some flowers there and make it cute and hopefully, I don't know. And I had to grab some flowers. I'm running low, so I need to stock up on flowers again because I have very few. So I would probably add more flowers to this if I had more. I may go back in later and add more because, again, I did not have a ton at the time of filming this. You can see that was pretty much all the flowers I had, and I wanted them to be varied in color, and I really only had pink ones left, so I didn't want to make them all pink. But I was just sort of decorating this area too, just a little, because you can see it still, and I didn't really do much. I just kind of put down custom designs and some flowers. And again, I would have put more flowers on that side. I think that side still needs more flowers. And then I put some fences there. And then I went to go decorate the balcony, and I wanted to put a custom design down, but I had to take the fences off to do that because it didn't look nice. So I was going to do it after the custom design. And I think this looks nice because it's kind of like an earthy feel, even though it's right next to the library, which is not an earthy feel, but I think it looks nice. I feel like it transitions well. I make it transition a little bit better. I put the little leaf things, like the green leaf pile down, and it makes a transition a lot better. And then I put down the barbed wire fence again. I think I end up changing it in some spots a little because I wasn't quite happy with it, but I tried. And then this is where I put the leaves, and I think that the leaves look nice there, and I think it gives it a good thing. And then I put down what are those called? The little wood stakes, log stakes. That log stakes is what they're called. I put down the log stakes and then some more of the leaf pile, and I really like that. And I put a little plant in the corner because, plants, and then more plants. I wanted it to be very green in the library too, like to make it connect better, because I did have like a very earthy balcony, peninsula, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted it to be very green and like have a lot of plants in the library as well. I didn't have as many as I would have liked in the end, but I did have quite a few greenery things. And I had quite a hard time decorating this space because I had a lot of things that I wanted to put there, but I didn't quite have the room for all of it. So it took a lot of finagling, but we got there, I think. I didn't have a desk in my inventory at the moment, so I just placed the typewriter where I wanted the desk to go. And I had an issue with putting a fireplace in front of a bookshelf. I thought it looked stupid there, and it doesn't look stupid. I just thought, like, it doesn't make sense, because why would you put a burning fireplace in front of flammable books? It's not realistic, but it looks nice, so I kept it, even though it's a little weird. And then I put the globe up on top of it, which I really like that globe. I think that looks perfect in this library. Like, it ties it together. I love it. And then the cushion, I think I moved that, but then I have the Rover's briefcase And I thought that looked so nice because it has a lot of the browns, and also it's an office. Like, it's a library, but like it's also an office sort of thing because why not? Like, I guess it kind of works. I feel like there would be a desk in the library. If there wasn't, it would just be books and it would be a little boring. Like, there would be nothing else there. I mean, books are not boring. I don't mean to call books boring. I just mean it would just be books and there would be nothing else around. So I had to do something with the desk. So I did use this as the desk, and then I just put the typewriter on it and a den chair. And I really liked how thick this was because I could put stuff on the other side of it too, instead of just having one item sitting on it by itself. And then I just think it looks kind of dumb when you do it like that. Like, I wish that you could put more items on the tables, and I wish that you could put them on the end without them like sticking off. I just have to say, The Sims, you can do like the Alt key and then you can move it anywhere you want on the table thing, and that's so helpful for me. But unfortunately, we do not have that in Animal Crossing, so it kind of infuriates me sometimes. I was having a hard time with the couch because the table went out so far and I wanted there to be a little table in front of the couch, but it was tight. It was a tight fit and I wasn't sure what to do. So I moved it over a little so that way I could put the table there, and then I wanted to add more stuff, but again, it was tight fit. So I want you to be able to walk through at least a little bit. I actually don't know if in the end you can walk through it. I kind of forget if I actually left room for you to walk through. I guess we'll find out. But right now you can't. I think I changed that. And I kept putting the scattered papers. I wasn't sure where to put them, so they kind of move around quite a bit. And I didn't like the scale. The scale was like too gold. It looks less gold in like the pictures of it, but I don't know, it was a little too gold. It didn't feel right. So I changed it up a little. And then I put some plants over there, which I really like. And then the balcony, again, I told you it changes up a lot. It's still going to change from this. It's like, I wasn't sure what to do with it because I wanted to have things on it, but it's, again, a smaller space. So I got rid of the fence, but I thought that was like unsafe. But because it was so minimal in room, I didn't have enough room to put a fence and actually put a lot of things on there. So I decided to do the simple panels so that way it would at least have something there. But then I don't know, it didn't feel right. But I was like, whatever, I'll just leave it for now. I eventually changed it to the bamboo because I think it looks more natural and earthy, and that's kind of the vibe I was going for, not whatever this is. I don't know what vibe this is, but it's not the one I was going for. So I just am literally, this is the part where I just grab a bunch of items and place them down and see what it looks like, and it'll tell me 100 times, you can't put anything here, and I just have to keep trying to get something to fit. This was a complicated spot to do. I think it looks nice in the end, but I guess that's for you guys to decide too. That's not just for me to decide. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think it turns out good. But I used a little stool, which I think that's so cute. I love that stool. I'm so happy that someone, like, I forget who told me about it. I forget how I found out about it, but I didn't know about it. And I'm obsessed with it now. Like, it's so cute. I've been using it in all of my builds since I found out about it. And I put a little book on there because, you can sit on the balcony and read a book because it's a library. It's kind of like the most important part about a library is reading the books. So I thought that was important to have a little book there on a little stool. You can't actually sit there because it's occupied by a book, but you can pretend, okay? I don't know if I left a cushion. I don't know if you can actually sit on here at all. You might not be able to, but you can sit on the floor. Who said you can't? You can sit on the ground. Sitting on the ground's fun. Connect with the earth, Sit on the floor. And then I don't know what I'm trying to do here. This all changes. I'm really just placing things and seeing. Like, this is my process, and it works sometimes. Sometimes it just, I need to change things out like 20 times to make sure I'm happy with it. And I'm never really happy with builds once I finish them. I kind of always go back and make adjustments later. But, I mean, like, in this video, I was making adjustments with my museum because I was decorating this. And I was like, I'm not happy with it. I'm going to do some things. And so it's going to be changed later for sure. But for now, it works. So that's what matters. It's still a library. It's just not probably going to stay like this. I haven't made any changes yet, though. As I'm, like, filming the voiceover, I have not made any changes, and it's been like a few days. So we might be happy with this build. But you can let me know if you think anything should change or what you think would look nice. You can always give me recommendations on my builds if you're like, hey, I think that's ugly. Tell me. Now I'm doing Goldie's house a little because I was like, I need to take a break from the library area. So I started to do her house, and I wasn't really sure what to do because I only had pink flowers, so her house needed to kind of be pink themed, only because that's what I had. And I didn't really like the mermaid. I didn't like the mermaid cherry there. I changed that, but I put the bamboo partition here, like I said earlier, and I think it looked so much better because it's a little bit more natural. It doesn't stand out as much. I think it just looked too, like, it was like white against a bunch of green stuff, so it stood out a lot, and that's not what I wanted it to do. I just wanted it to be there so like it looked realistic and that you wouldn't fall off the balcony if you were actually standing on there. But I don't know. I think now it's fine. And then I use the bamboo partition over here. I love the bamboo partition. I think it's so nice, and it's a great way to do like those fake fences like I was doing, or even just to separate areas. It looks so nice, and it just fits in well. It's like an earthy feel. I love it. And then this area was not a ton of room, so I wasn't exactly sure. Like, it was long. Like, I guess long, like deep. Like, it goes far back, but it's very skinny. Like, I have one cliff and then like 5 or something. That's just an estimate. 5 back. So it wasn't exactly an easy area to fill because I wanted you to be able to get there and like walk there, but also actually have things placed. So I did I had the flowers and the cherry blossom pile because you can walk over those. So then you at least have enough room to go sit on the cushions if you actually wanted to. And I absolutely love the mushroom platforms. I think they're the cutest item. I can't say the cutest item in game. I can't say that. And then the mush lamp too, which again is one of my favorite items. So I can't tell you what my favorite item is. I can give you a starter pack of my favorite items. That might actually be interesting for a giveaway. Let me know if you would like a starter pack of my favorite items. Like, it'll just be like a bunch of the items that I'm absolutely obsessed with in game. The leaf piles are one of them as well. The Nova lights, all that stuff. They're like fantastic. And I think we're done. This is where we're at right now. So that's a quick overview of everything. If you liked this build, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.